Chapter 41. Keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let them come near together to judgment. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. He gave them as the dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow. He pursued them, and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, the first, and with the last I am he. The isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near, and came. They helped every one his neighbor, and every one said to his brother, Be of good courage. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smoothed with the hammer him that smote the anvil, saying, It is ready for the soldering. And he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear not, for I am with thee, be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them, and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittah tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree, and the pine, and the box tree together, that they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it. Produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reason, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth, and shew us what shall happen. Let them shew the former things, what they be, that we may consider them, and know the latter end of them, and declare us things for to come. Shew the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods. Yea, do good, or do evil, that we may be dismayed, and behold it together. Behold, ye are nothing, and your work is not, an abomination is he that chooseth you. I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come. From the rising of the sun shall he call upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as the potter treadeth clay. Who hath declared from the beginning, that we may know, and before time, that we may say, He is righteous? Yea, there is none that sheweth, yea, there is none that declareth, yea, there is none that heareth your words. The first shall say to Zion, Behold, behold them, and I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings. For I beheld, and there was no man even among them, and there was no counselor that, when I asked of them, could answer a word. Behold, they are all vanity, their works are nothing, their molten images are wind and confusion. Isaiah chapter 40 through 66 is entirely prophetic in nature, poetic in nature, just phenomenal amount of allusions, not illusions, allusions of things where he takes an event that's happening right now or that will happen very shortly and is making reference, using that as an example, to something that's going to happen in a future time, or something that's going to happen even past that in the last days. You have to remember, Isaiah saw the end from the beginning, and so to him they're all part of the same thing. And it's as he flips back and forth from one to the other, Doesn't always tell us, but it's there. And a thing I was trying to come up with an example, and the thought occurred to me was this: all of us have either been children or have children, and we all try to get our children to brush their teeth and avoid cavities and all those other sorts of things. And the illusion, the example of this is something that Isaiah is trying to do, although not telling them to brush their teeth, but trying to repent and live right and all the rest of it. And if you tell a child, you have one of your children, or you are a child, and a parent who can see the end from the beginning, that if you don't change your behavior, there will be long-term consequences. And the long-term consequences will be, first off, you're going to start having cavities, which means you're going to go to the dentist and he's going to have to do some work on you. It probably will hurt. And if you then don't change, then the time will come when you will have dentures and you'll have all the problems that come with them. And so basically, Isaiah is doing the same sort of thing with trying to get the people to repent, follow God, and do the right things. And he's telling them, well, right now this is the situation you're in, and if you don't change, then you're going to be in this situation, and your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren are going to be in this position, and then the people 500 years, 1,000 years from now, they're going to have you as an example, and if they do the same thing, this is the problems they're going to have. And then in the last days, there's going to be all these problems because you didn't start off doing the right thing here. So you need to do the right thing here. So 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years down the road, whatever it happened to be, we come to this good conclusion instead of a bad conclusion. And this is the way Isaiah is thinking and talking, and why he's doing that. He's trying to get people to do the right thing so that down the road they have established a righteous pattern and the benefits that come from the righteous pattern, rather than an unrighteous pattern and then have all the suffering that happens as a result of it. Now, in chapter 41, he talks about isles. He doesn't mean islands. He means places where some remnants that were led away from Israel, of which we have very, very limited records in some cases, will be redeemed from, places where they're going to be redeemed from. And in the time of the harvest. This is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen necessarily with the establishment of Israel, although we know there are people all over the world who claim to have Jewish descent and Jewish ancestors. We know there are groups like this in Asia. We know there are people like this in Africa and Ethiopia and other places. And we know they claim from, but we also believe that there are others, that some of which we might know of, some of which we might think we know of, and some of which we don't know of at all. And that in the time of the harvest, in the second coming, they will be provided for to return to the promised land. It talks about, in verse 2, the righteous man from the east. John the Revelator saw a similar vision to this in Revelations chapter 7, verse 2. We have reference to, in this, Elias, with his sealing power to restore all things. But we believe that the righteous man from the east is not an individual as much as it is the title of a number of prophets from days gone by, as he's talking in the future sense, Moses and the apostles and others, who have come to restore their keys and do their part for the restoration of all things.